Archangel Michael warns on September 30, stop. You will lose God if you don't listen to him right now. You have 10 seconds to open this video. Open now. September 30 is not just another date on a calendar. No. This is a divine timestamp, etched in the heavens before you were even born. A seal has been broken. A trumpet has been blown in the unseen realm. This day, September 30, is not ordinary. It is appointed. And the urgency wrapped around it is not fabricated, not emotional, not psychological. It is spiritual. It is eternal. This is Archangel Michael, the commander of heavenly hosts, standing between realms to deliver a warning not for the faint of heart, not for the casual hearers, and certainly not for those asleep in their sin. This message is not for everyone. Only those whose spirits are awake, or awakening, will feel this call pierce their soul like lightning through the night. If you feel it, it's because heaven has summoned you. You were not scrolling by accident. You were not brought here by a coincidence. You are standing in front of a divine door that only opens for 10 seconds. A window that does not stay open long. Heaven waits for no man. You have 10 seconds to respond, not because God is impatient, but because this moment is a test of obedience and urgency. If you pause, if you delay, if you dismiss this as just another video, you may miss the very moment God came close enough to whisper and you weren't listening. The Holy Spirit is brooding. The presence of the Lord is drawing near. But with that presence comes an instruction: be still. Be silent. Be obedient. And listen. For in this stillness, you will hear the truth. In your obedience, you will feel his nearness. In your surrender, you will not lose him. But if you reject this moment, if you silence the voice of heaven, you risk something far greater than loss of opportunity. You risk loss of communion, the most terrifying silence of all. This is a moment of soul recognition, spirit activation, destiny alignment. This is not performance, not drama. This is warfare. This is divine strategy. And you are either inside the will of God today, or you are drifting fast into a place where his voice grows faint and distant. This is your warning. This is your 10-second window. Heaven has opened. Are you listening? Type "I am listening" in the comments if you feel this call. Blessing code 1177 is now surrounding you. The commander of heavenly armies speaks now. Archangel Michael is not whispering today. He is roaring. The gates of divine warning have been opened. The sword of the Most High has been drawn. A command has gone forth from the throne room of God, and it carries your name. This is not suggestion. This is not advice. This is a summoning, a holy intervention, a spiritual decree. And I, Archangel Michael, am sent to declare it. In the next few moments, not tomorrow, not next week, but in this very breath, a decision is being demanded from your soul. A crossroads has arrived, not just in your life, but in the spirit realm over your name. You are not watching this, you are being watched. Every second that passes is a divine countdown. Every heartbeat is a drumbeat of war in the heavens. Every breath you take right now is an invitation to align with the King of Glory, or to drift further into the shadows. You have 10 seconds. 10 seconds to listen. 10 seconds to obey. 10 seconds to answer. This is not about fear. This is about faithfulness. This is not about drama. This is about destiny. This is the moment where obedience in the small determines your authority in the great. Many pray for elevation but ignore divine instruction. Many cry out for breakthrough but never pause long enough to hear the whisper of the Holy Spirit saying, "Stop. Turn. Listen." Heaven is not asking for your opinion. Heaven is issuing a command. Stop running. Stop distracting. Stop justifying. Stop playing with fire and expecting not to be burned. You have touched what is unclean. You have listened to what is deceiving. You have opened your heart to voices that are not of God. And now, a holy warning comes before a divine judgment. But, listen, you are not forsaken. You are not too vergone. You are not too broken to be redeemed. That's why you're hearing this right now. That's why the Archangel hath been dispatched. That's why a war trumpet is sounding inside your spirit. Because despite everything, God still wants you back. This message is selective. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will feel it. But if your heart is burning, if your soul is trembling, if your eyes are watering without knowing why, it's because heaven has marked you. Yes, you. Not someone more perfect. Not someone more holy. Not someone more ready. You. And do you know why? Because your name has been whispered in heaven. Because your soul was seen battling in the unseen realm. Because you've been under a fight no one knows about. Not your friends, not your family, but heaven knows. I know. And I've come now, sword in hand, to pull you from the edge. This 10-second warning is a test. A test of your ears. A test of your surrender. Will you listen now, when it costs you nothing? Or will you only cry out when the silence becomes unbearable? Because I tell you this, if you ignore this window, a silence is coming. A silence where heaven will no longer speak until you break. And by then the ground may have already shifted beneath your feet. Obedience is not optional for the chosen. It is the air we breathe. You are not watching a video. You are standing at the door of your next dimension. Choose to enter. Type "I obey" in the comments if this message is yours. Blessing code 1444 has been activated over your name. Something has been happening behind the veil. Something subtle. Something quiet, yet loud enough to disturb the deepest parts of your soul. You felt it, haven't you? A tension behind your eyes. That pressure in your chest when everything around you looks calm, but your spirit is restless. That ache you can't describe. That suspicion that something is off, but you can't name it. Hear this. It's not your imagination. It's not emotional instability. It is spiritual interference. Yes, there has been a divine disruption, and yes, something, or someone, has been pulling you away. Not by force, but by design. Not with violence, but with distraction. You haven't been attacked with a sword. You've been rocked to sleep by a whisper. A whisper that says, "You're fine. There's no urgency. You can wait. You don't need to chain you now." But those whispers are not holy. They are calculated. They are demonic lullabies meant to dull your edge, to weaken your hearing, to make you deaf to the trumpet blast sounding over your life. You wonder why the restlessness won't leave. You wonder why the peace you once had feels distant. It is because your spirit senses a shift. It is not random. It is not mood. It is a message, a divine signal that the realm of the spirit is moving, and if you do not move with it, you will be left behind, emotionally, spiritually, and prophetically. The enemy senses your shift. He smells your awakening. He sees your oil rising, but he doesn't know the source. That's why confusion has crept in. That's why sudden tiredness hits you right before prayer. That's why the voices you trusted now carry tones of doubt, jealousy, or apathy. Because they are sensing your shift, but they do not know its origin. So now, the enemy sends misalignment. He sends interruption. He sends betrayal in disguise. And here is where it becomes dangerous. When those closest to you are being used as silencers, keeping you from fully turning your ear toward heaven. Not because they are evil, but because your journey is holy. You've been distracted by things that look good, but lack anointing. You've been absorbing words that sound encouraging, but are spiritually empty. You've been slowly losing your fire, not by sin, but by substitution, replacing divine truth with comfortable lies. And now, your spirit is issuing a distress call, crying out to return to the sound of the Father's voice. Don't ignore that tension inside you. Unease, at misalignment, that sadness you can't explain. It's the alarm system of your soul screaming, "Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!" This moment is more than a warning. It is a rescue. The silence that God is calling you into is not abandonment. It is purification. The stillness you are being drawn to is not isolation. It is alignment. But you must choose to let go of every voice that has been contaminating your clarity, every opinion that's been crowding your discernment, every relationship that's been keeping you comfortable when God is calling you to be consecrated. You are standing in the middle of spiritual disruption, not because you're being punished, but because you're being recalibrated. Heaven has drawn a circle around you, and you feel it. You don't belong where you used to belong. You don't laugh at what you used to find funny. You don't feel comfortable in what used to be your comfort zone. That's not depression. That's not detachment. That's destiny pulling you higher. But before elevation comes examination. And this is yours. Type "I feel the shift" in the comments if you hear this confirmation. Blessing code 3333 is now being written over your next chapter. If this message is reaching into the hidden places of your soul, then know this isn't just a video. This is a divine encounter. Every seed sown into this mission becomes a spiritual tool in the hand of God. Your support helps push these warnings, these revelations, these moments of divine clarity into homes, hearts, and nations. The harvest is waiting, and your giving is the rain that activates it. God said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you," not just as a principle, but as a prophecy over your obedience. I feel led to tell you, if you've been stirred, don't just receive, respond. Support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. What you release today will return to you with fire, oil, and open doors. You are not funding a video. You are fueling revival. So as the Spirit leads, speak life over your gift. And type "I'm a kingdom funder" in the comments. Blessing code 555 is surrounding your hands now. You have been asking, why is everything shaking? You've been wondering, why does everything feel like it's falling apart when I'm trying to move forward? But hear me clearly now, in the voice of divine authority. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are marked. You are under attack because you are chosen. The chaos around you isn't punishment. It is preparation. The resistance isn't rejection. It is refinement. This isn't just a storm. This is a summons to war, not a war against people, but a war for your positioning, your obedience, your clarity, and your divine inheritance. The conflict you feel is not confusion. It's confirmation. Heaven is shaking what cannot be trusted so that what is eternal in you can remain unshaken. You have asked God for a sign, but instead of giving you comfort, He allowed you to be disoriented. Instead of peace, He allowed pressure. Not because He abandoned you, but because He's teaching you to hear Him without the noise, to recognize Him in the fire, in the earthquake, and finally in the still, small voice. Right now, some things are being exposed by delay. You thought the delay meant denial, but it was actually divine protection. Some doors didn't open because they would have become your prison. Some people walked away not because they rejected you, but because heaven removed them to preserve you. Yes, even in the pain, there is providence. Even in the silence, there is strategy. Everything you're facing has spiritual intelligence behind it. The enemy didn't just choose you randomly. He targeted you because of what he saw rising inside you. Your dreams are growing more vivid. Your discernment is sharpening. Your appetite for truth is shifting. And every step you take toward the things of God, the enemy sees as a declaration of war. But what you must understand is this: you are not alone in the battle. Heaven sees you. Heaven watches every footstep. The Spirit of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him. The enemy has launched accusations in the courtroom of heaven, but your name is defended by the blood, and your destiny is guarded by the army of the Most High. Every moment you choose obedience over comfort, trust over logic, surrender over striving, you align with the divine blueprint written over your life before time began. The confusion you feel is being allowed by God to separate the real from the false, the holy from the familiar, the divine from the convenient. You are being called out, not cast out. You are being pulled away, not pushed aside. Because where you're going requires focus. Where you're going demands surrender. And where you're going, not everyone can follow. So listen closely. Your reaction now determines the outcome of your spiritual battle. Your response in this hour will echo in the heavens. Will you respond with obedience, or will you retreat into what feels safe? Will you fight in the Spirit, or will you fall into distraction again? This is a divine test of hearing and responding, a test of spiritual muscle. And like Job, like Joseph, like David, your anointing is being confirmed through affliction. But also like them, your deliverance is certain. The conflict is not the end. It's the evidence that God is near. God is watching. Angels are dispatched. And the heavens are waiting for your yes. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 7777 is now moving ahead of you into every battle. Listen closely now, for the tone of heaven has shifted. This is no longer just a gentle prompting. This is a prophetic alert, a divine escalation. There is movement in the spirit realm, movement so sharp, so targeted, that it will soon manifest in the natural. You will see it, you will feel it, and you will be forced to respond. For what is coming in the next 72 hours is not random. It is not coincidental. It is spiritual warfare dressed in natural interruptions. Heaven is not only warning you, it is preparing you. Because even now, even as these words are reaching your ears, something is being positioned to shift your path off course. They will come in the form of opportunity. They will come in the shape of familiar comfort. They will carry words that sound good, feel right, and seem logical. But they are sent to do one thing: distract you from divine obedience. Within the next 72 hours, the test intensifies. Not just externally, but internally. You will begin to feel the tug of indecision, the storm of emotional weight, and the fog of spiritual confusion. Don't ignore it. Don't rationalize it. Recognize it for what it is: a spiritual pressure system designed to force you into premature action or passive silence. You will be tempted to rush ahead without prayer. You will be pushed to speak when God is telling you to stay silent. You will be invited into conversations that carry poison beneath their politeness. But hear me. Every step you take in the flesh during this window will carry consequences in the spirit. There is someone plotting against your alignment, and they don't even know they are being used. The enemy is subtle. He cloaks his schemes in light. He dresses deception in fake light. But heaven knows, and that is why this warning is coming to you now, not tomorrow, not later, now. You are under divine surveillance. Your angels are watching, and the Holy Spirit is whispering instructions. Not everything will be explained. Some things will be withheld so that you walk by faith, not by insight. The enemy thrives on your need to know. He uses your hunger for control to bait you. But this time, you must choose surrender instead of certainty. Silence instead of chaos. Obedience instead of curiosity. Do not seek clarity from people. Do not chase answers from unclean sources. You already know what God said. Now, your responsibility is not to reinterpret it, but to obey it. This is your warning. Someone is coming with intentions wrapped in charm. A message is coming that sounds like truth but carries manipulation. An opportunity is coming that looks like favor, but is really a detour. Discern. Test every spirit. Refuse the urge to react. Because if you follow the wrong signal now, it may take years to recover. If you step outside the will of God now, the cost may be greater than your comfort can carry. But if you stand still, if you resist the bait, if you respond to this warning with reverence, heaven will shift in your favor with force and finality. Type "I will not be moved" in the comments if you receive this as your divine warning. Blessing code 9222 is now forming a shield around your discernment. Now that you have heard the warning, the heavens issue a divine strategy, one not rooted in striving, but in stillness. This next instruction is not about doing more. It is about becoming still enough to let God do what only He can do. Be still, because heaven fights when you don't. You've been taught to battle with noise, to pray louder, to push harder, to run faster. But this hour calls for something more dangerous than noise: obedience through silence. For in silence, distractions die. In stillness, deception is exposed. In quiet surrender, angels are released to act on your behalf. The louder the world becomes, the quieter the Spirit requires you to be. You've entered a window of divine instruction, and this is not the time to argue, to question, or to debate with God. Withdraw. Pull back. Disconnect. Not from purpose, but from pressure. Not from faith, but from foolish counsel. Not from people, but from those whose voices have been muddying the water of your discernment. There are moments when the Lord speaks clearly, and moments when He simply watches to see if you'll obey without another word. This is one of those moments. He has spoken. The trumpet has sounded. The message is clear. Now comes the test of spiritual maturity. Can you be quiet when you want to speak? Can you stay put when everything inside you wants to move? Can you shut out every other voice until His alone becomes your guide again? Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is strategy. Stillness is not silence of the body. It is the alignment of the spirit. Stillness tells the enemy, I trust God more than I trust my own impulses. Stillness activates angelic warfare that cannot be touched by human effort. I, Michael, tell you this truth: some battles cannot be won by shouting, by explaining, by defending, or by fighting in your flesh. They are only won in silence. When your posture is one of surrender, the armies of heaven are deployed in your name. You cannot outtalk the devil, but you can outobey him. You cannot outwit the accuser, but you can outlast him by staying in position. Obedience will always confuse your enemies more than aggression ever could. Yes, there will be pressure. The moment you go still, voices will rise. Demands will come. Chaos will increase. But don't move. Your stillness is a shield. The enemy cannot penetrate a surrendered heart. He cannot confuse a mind anchored in stillness. He cannot deceive a soul hidden in God. And when you remain under divine cover, no weapon formed against you shall stand. No lie will find root. No attack will find a target. No curse will find a home. Declare it now. I will be still. I will be silent. I will be shielded. Every accusation will fall flat. Every curse sent toward you will return void. Every hidden scheme shall be dismantled, not by your hand, but by the sword of the Lord. This is not your fight. This is God's defense over His chosen. Stand down so heaven can stand up for you. Hide yourself in prayer. Saturate your day with worship. Shut down the noise, the nonsense, the negotiations, and just listen. There is strategy in the silence. There is safety in the stillness. And soon, there will be victory in the Spirit. Type I am still in the comments if you receive this divine instruction. Blessing code 1881 is now forming a hedge of protection around your steps. Now that you have heard the warning, now that you have chosen stillness, it is time to hear the truth about who you are becoming. Because you are not the same. And whether you feel it yet or not, whether others recognize it or not, something in you has already changed. The moment you obeyed the divine call to silence, a shift began in your spiritual identity. You are no longer in survival mode. You are no longer crawling through warfare. You are standing in transformation. The enemy tried to convince you that you were weak, that you were unworthy, that you were behind. But what he feared most wasn't your past, it was your becoming. He did attack because of where you were. He attacked because of where you were about to go. And now, as heaven watches your obedience, as the angels respond to your stillness, as the Holy Spirit ignites your inner man, a fire has been lit inside you that cannot be extinguished. You are no longer who they think you are. You are not who you used to be. You are rising. You are stretching. You are awakening. They laughed at you in your waiting season. They whispered about your delays. They judged your quietness. But they didn't see the fire growing under the surface. They didn't see the wings forming in the dark. They didn't recognize that God had you hidden because He was making you dangerous. Dangerous to hell's plans. Dangerous to deception. Dangerous to the patterns that once held you captive. What looked like weakness was actually inhibition. What felt like isolation was actually divine insulation. You were being formed in fire, and now the fire is rising. Yes, you've walked through betrayal, loss, and delay, but those were the conditions required for your elevation. Like gold purified 7 times, your character is being sealed with glory. Like eagles molting their feathers, your old strength had to fall away so your wings could stretch again. You are not being broken. You are being rebuilt in heavenly proportions. Your mind is sharper. Your spirit is more alert. Your prayers are heavier. Your words carry weight. You no longer speak to oppress. You speak to command. You don't walk in fear. You walk with fire. This is what happens when someone obeys the stillness. This is what happens when someone finally listens. Heaven does not only protect, heaven promotes. And you, beloved, are now stepping into the beginning of empowerment. The very places where you were once rejected, you shall now be respected. The very assignments where you were overlooked, you will now be the answer. The very places where your name was stained, heaven is rewriting the record. Because God doesn't just restore what was lost, He transforms who you are. So walk differently. Speak with authority. Think like one who has been with the King. Because that is who you are now. You are not a victim of the storm. You are the voice that commands it. You are not a casualty of warfare. You are a warrior marked by fire, led by light, and covered in glory. They thought they buried you. They didn't realize you were a seed. And now you are rising. Type "My fire is rising" in the comments if you receive this as your empowerment season. Blessing code 1717 is lighting your path with divine authority. Now that your fire is rising, now that your identity is awakening, heaven begins to unveil the mystery behind the pain, the stillness, the warfare, the silence. You've endured so much, questioned so deeply, and wondered, why me? And now, here comes the answer. This was never just a season of testing. It was a season of unlocking. Yes, unlocking. Not destruction, not delay, but divine unlocking. You were not being buried. You were being positioned. You were not being forgotten. You were being reserved for something sacred. Because what you carried in your spirit had to be matured in the fire before it could be trusted with glory. Let me say this with heavenly clarity. Your name has been whispered in the throne room. And the trials you've endured were not sent to break you, but to verify you. Just as gold is not gold until it's tested, your calling had to be verified in the fire. But you walked through with who was inside of you. Every loss, every delay, every moment of silence, they were not punishments, they were preparation rooms. Now, the heavens are opening. Now, the locks are turning. Now, the time has come. This is your unlocking. The enemy tried to shut you down, but he couldn't find the key to what God sealed. He tried to distract you, delay you, confuse you, but the vault over your destiny was never in his jurisdiction. It was in God's timing, and now the timing has come into alignment. The pressure you feel is not the end, it is the opening. The weight is not the collapse, it is the release. You've cried, you've questioned, you've waited. And now, hear this. The door that was locked for years is about to swing wide open. Not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, but because you passed the test and trust. You chose silence when you could have spoken. You chose stillness when you could have moved. You chose obedience when you could have rebelled. And heaven has now declared, you are ready. There is a destiny waiting on the other side of this revelation, a new dimension of favor, influence, clarity, and power. The fog is lifting. The heavens are roaring. Your angels are standing at attention. Your name is written in heaven, not as a forgotten one, not as a failure, but as a faithful one, a trusted one who did not give in to the pressure of the world, but held fast to the whisper of the Spirit. So rise in confidence. Move forward with fire. This is not a return to who you used to be. This is the unveiling of who you were always meant to become. The trials didn't define you, they refined you. And now, the prophetic revelation is being fulfilled. You are stepping into what was always yours, but now, finally, you're ready to carry it. Type I am unlocked in the comments if you feel this prophetic release. Blessing code 4141 is now moving you into what no eye has seen. If this message has been unlocking your spirit, then let your obedience go further. We're not just preaching. We are igniting destinies, stirring warriors, and releasing heavenly alerts to the world. When you give, you're not supporting a channel, you're sowing into a move of God. You're placing seed on altars of transformation. You're funding the release of revelation into homes, devices, and nations. The oil that flows here is sacred, and every drop you pour back in multiplies. Heaven honors givers who respond in the same spirit that they receive. This is your moment. Don't scroll past it. The links are in the description. Super thanks, membership, and even PayPal. Give with fire. Give with purpose. Your seed is your agreement. Your giving is your yes. Speak it loud. Toe is strong. And type I am a kingdom builder in the comments. Blessing code 626 is surrounding every giver now. Now that you have been unlocked, now that the vault over your spirit has opened, it is time to move. It is time to rise. It is time to activate your destiny. Not tomorrow. Not later. Not when the pressure eases or the fear subsides. Now, heaven is waiting for your yes. You've waited for the right moment. You've cried for confirmation. You begged for clarity. But this moment, right here, right now, is the answer to all three. This is the moment where heaven shifts from revealing to releasing. This is the threshold where knowing must turn into doing. This is the place where vision must meet movement. Revelation without activation is rebellion. God didn't just show you the fire inside of you so you could feel it. He showed you so you could walk in it. You are not called to be a spectator in the spirit. You are not called to watch others rise while you sit in silence. The hand of God is not only upon you to heal you, it is upon you to send you. You are not just being delivered from darkness, you are being deployed into destiny. And for that to manifest, your mouth must open, your feet must move, and your hands must stretch. Declare, affirm, act, move. This is activation. Stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a choice. Stop asking for permission. God has already appointed you. Stop replaying your failures. The past is no longer your language. You are standing in a holy now. Heaven responds not to hesitation, but to alignment. Destiny is not built on convenience. It is birthed in obedience. You must declare who you are, even when the world hasn't seen it yet. You must affirm what you carry, even when it hasn't fully manifested. Because the heavens move when your faith moves. Say it. I am chosen. I am marked. I am sent. I will rise. I will walk. I will obey. These are not just words, they are keys. Every declaration you make in faith becomes a door in the Spirit. Every act of surrender becomes a ladder into another dimension. Every why yes you give now sets off motion in the realms you cannot see. Heaven is waiting for your sound. If you've been asking, what should I do next? The answer is simple but sacred. Move in obedience. Speak with authority. Walk in purity. Pray with fire. Live with urgency. You've been activated not to impress, not to entertain, not to pretend. You've been activated to transform, to shift atmospheres, to tear down strongholds, to heal the broken, to speak to the dry bones and watch them live. You've been walking with fire and didn't even realize it. You've been carrying a sword while thinking you were still being sharpened. But now the truth is revealed. You are not preparing anymore. You are positioned. You are aligned. You are released. This is your moment of movement. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling. Creation is groaning. And you must rise. Type yes in the comments if you're ready to step into it. Blessing code 3003 is now unlocking divine doors before you. What you must understand now is this. While your feet walk on the earth, your spirit is engaged in divine negotiation. There is a silent exchange happening, you realms unseen, in dimensions untouched by human hands, where angels, elders, and heavenly forces are moving on your behalf. While you sleep, heaven is speaking. While you cry, heaven is recording. While you war and worship, heaven is sealing contracts in the spirit that your eyes have not yet seen. You thought you were just praying in the dark. You thought your worship was hidden. But every word you whispered in obedience, every tear you wept in surrender, every moment you bowed when no one saw, they were being weighed, measured, and presented before the throne of the Almighty. And now, the Spirit of the Lord reveals this to you. What was stolen is being returned. Yes, even now, in silence, in stillness, in secrecy, there is a sacred reversal unfolding. There are scrolls being unsealed with your name on them. There are things heaven wrote about you that were delayed, diverted, or even blocked. But now, your obedience has shifted the balance. There is a reordering happening, a resetting. a restoring of everything the enemy touched while you were unaware. Do not be fooled. The realm of the Spirit is not passive. It is not idle. It is precise. Every act of obedience you made in the natural triggered motion in the supernatural. Every time you silenced your flesh, heaven heard it as a declaration. Every time you forgave without being apologized to, something in the heavens unlocked. Every time you stayed silent when you could have defended yourself, heaven wrote approve next to your name. There are angelic messengers now carrying answers. There are spiritual scrolls being delivered into your atmosphere. There are divine whispers being sent to align people, places, and seasons on your behalf. You are not being forgotten. You are being favored behind the veil. There is a holy exchange happening, ashes for beauty, mourning for joy, heaviness for garments of praise. And it's not loud. It's not public. But it's real. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. This is the realm of faith, the realm of trust, the realm of reward. There are things being reversed even now, relationships realigning, opportunities reopening, authority being restored. You didn't know how close you were to losing it all, but your yes in the spirit realm changed the course of things you will never fully understand on this side of eternity. This is why the enemy fought so hard to distract you, to discourage you, to delay you, because he saw what was coming. He knew what was being exchanged in silence. There is a reason your rest has felt restless. There's a reason you've been waking up at strange hours, sensing movement but not understanding it. Because your spirit is alert while your body sleeps. The Spirit of God is speaking in the night. He's revealing, rewiring, repositioning, and reclaiming what's yours. And what's most powerful, it's not happening through your effort. It's happening through your obedience. Heaven doesn't need your hustle. It needs your surrender. And now that you've surrendered, heaven is acting. Do not fear the silence. It is not abandonment. It is transaction. Do not fear the stillness. It is not idleness. It is negotiation. Do not fear the dark. It is the delivery room. What's been promised is being released. What's been delayed is being returned. What's been broken is being rebuilt. Type I receive the exchange in the comments if you know this realm has moved for you. Blessing code 8881 is confirming your name before the courts of heaven. The time for silence is now giving way to the sound of justice. What was hidden is being exposed. What was stolen is being returned. What was twisted is being straightened by the hand of the Most High. Heaven has not been asleep. Heaven has been watching, recording, weighing every injustice, every betrayal, every lie that was spoken against you while you were silent. And now, says the Lord of hosts, the scale is tipping. The judgment have been written, and the verdict is in your favor. This is not just restoration. This is divine reversal. I, Michael, commander of the Lord's army, speak this clearly. The pain that almost took you out will now be the place of your greatest praise. The pit they threw you into will become the platform you rise from. What they did to break you will be the very thing God uses to bless you. You were mocked. You were mishandled. You were misunderstood. But none of it was missed by God. Not one word, not one tear, not one moment of silent suffering escaped the record of heaven. Every false accusation had been heard. Every secret plot had been revealed. Every private pain is now public evidence of your endurance, and heaven is responding with justice. This justice is not revenge, it is reversal. God is not just going to defend your name, He is going to exalt it in the presence of your enemies. They will watch as the favor of the Lord surrounds you like a shield. They will witness how the ones they tried to bury are now walking in fire, in oil, and in divine promotion. This reversal will not come through your hand, so do not fight. Do not explain. Do not retaliate. The vengeance belongs to the Lord, and He is not slow to act. In one moment, He can undo years of damage. In one breath, He can break the curses that tried to follow your bloodline. In one decree, He can flip the narrative and place you in a seat of power they swore you'd never reach. Let every person who tried to block you prepare for divine interruption. Let every system that delayed you prepare for supernatural collapse. Let every voice that rose against you now fall silent under the weight of God's glory. Because the Lord is not only reversing your situation, He's rewriting your reputation. They called you weak. Now they'll call you wise. They called you confused. Now they'll call you call. They said you were finished. But God says, I am just beginning with you. This is the hardest of obedience. This is the reward for stillness. This is the recompense for the righteous. You have sown in tears, but now you will reap with joy. You have walked through fire, but now you wear glory. You have waited in silence, but now you will be vindicated by heaven's voice. This is spiritual justice. This is divine reversal. This is your exodus. The chains are breaking. The prison is opening. The sentence has been overturned. Type the verdict is victory in the comments if you feel this judgment was for you. Blessing code 9990 is now reversing every curse spoken over your destiny. Now that you've heard the warning, now that you've endured the pressure, and now that heaven has declared your vindication, receive this final word from the throne of God. You are not the same. The shaking was real. The silence was strategic. The fire was refining. But it was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. And now that it has, heaven is sealing you with power, with purpose, and with prophetic clarity. This moment is not a close, it's a commissioning. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. The time for hesitation is over. The time for fear is done. This is the hour where your obedience will speak louder than your wounds. Your worship will carry more weight than your weeping, and your assignment will rise higher than your adversities. Heaven is marking your next steps with fire and accuracy. Archangel Michael does not speak in vain, and this warning was not released for entertainment. It was issued to awaken the chosen, to ignite the sleeping, and to gather the remnant. This message was not for everyone. It was for you. Because your name was called. Your spirit was summoned. And now, your future is unfolding. Rise with authority. Walk with reverence. Move in silence. Carry the word. Speak only what heaven speaks. And remember, your obedience did what warfare could never do. It aligned you with your next season. The heavens now declare, your battle is shifting. Your name is honored. Your mission is clear. You are chosen. You are ready. You are rising. Type I am marked by heaven in the comments if you receive this final seal. Blessing code 1010 is now sealing your path with angelic fire. As you step into your next season, don't walk alone. Join us in fueling this divine mission. Every prophetic word that goes forth is reaching souls who are hanging between silence and surrender. Your support helps us pull them into the light. Through your giving, you're placing oil into the lamps of the weary. You're sowing into revival, into rescue, into restoration. This isn't about donating. This is about being part of a movement heaven is breathing on. Your super thanks, membership, or PayPal seed link in the description becomes a divine echo in someone's storm. You've received fire. Now help us send it further. The altar is open. The oil is ready. Let your gift speak for you in the courts of heaven. Sow with boldness. Give with faith. And type "I am a heavenly investor" in the comments. Blessing code 5500 is now multiplying your seed with prophetic favor.